a question that came in on Facebook that I wanted to make sure that we addressed from a young adult. He wants to know what resources would be available for someone who is an adult, not diagnosed as being on the spectrum, but has a lot of the same mannerisms and traits as someone on the spectrum. For instance, how would one be diagnosed as an adult, and what places would be able to do that? It sucks seeing videos of people who are diagnosed talking in a way similar to the way that I talk, giving gestures with their hands that I give, but knowing that I was possibly not diagnosed because my mother didn't care and didn't give me any support, or because I was such a high-functioning individual that testing for my form of it wasn't as up-to-date as it is now.
Very smart. You're a very, very smart person, you are. Not too many people would actually realize that, you know, this is an adult. So when you were a child, I guess it was sort of this huge ocean of individuals coming into, it's like a massive flood of people coming in. And I assume you're a young adult, because there are not that many older adults, you know. So when we're looking at, let's say 20 years ago, diagnostic issues were very different. It wasn't so much about diagnosing the higher functioning folks as it was, there were just so many kids coming in with severe forms of autism that all the attention on diagnostics was on them. It was a flood, you know, of young people coming in. So I would say now, with the new diagnostic criteria that allows us to kind of diagnose based on severity. You know, in the old days, like before 2003, you may have possibly been classified as either Asperger's or pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified. Now, the criteria are pretty much the same. There is no other sort of milder form. It's the same, but you can have a severity of 1, 2, or 3, 3 being the most severe and 1 being the least severe. So where would you go? You would go to a diagnostic center. You're in the US, I assume, and if you're in the US, any psychologist would be able to do this for you. A psychiatrist would probably be able to do this for you. So you're really looking for a psychologist or psychiatrist, preferably. I think you're in better shape if you go to a center where it specializes in autism, like where we are, or many universities have this as well. It's simply because, generally speaking, people are more dismissive when it's an older individual who's high functioning. And so I don't know that it has really anything to do with your parents. I think it has your mom, for instance. I think more than not, it's likely that people were very dismissive because you're very high functioning. So, and what you're looking for, you know, the way the diagnosis works, there has to be a set number and very specific criteria that are met. So the first domain of the diagnosis is what's called social communication, and there are a specific number of symptoms, and every single one of those boxes has to be checked. Now, you can't not check one of them in that segment. In the second section, there's several symptoms. This has now to do with the second kind of domain that we look at, which is called stereotypic or repetitive sensory-based types behaviors, and you have to have like one at least in that area. So you kind of, it's a little bit different, but it's based on a series of symptoms. Look it up. Look up DSM-5, autism spectrum disorder, and it'll come up. You can find it. It's online. Autism Speaks has it on their website. You can just look it up online. It'll come up. The symptom criteria for autism or ASD, it'll just pop up. But you want to look at the DSM-5 version, and you'll see. And if you really feel that you fit the required criteria, then go see a psychologist or go to a center, and they will give you a diagnosis. Now, what will the diagnosis do for you? It will get you access to ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis, through your health insurance, through your medical insurance, and you will then be able to access people like us And what we do, of course, I would love to work with you. I don't know where you are, but we do have a whole program for very, very advanced, high-functioning adults. My supervisors who deal with the adults at CARD are fantastic. So I don't know where you are, but those are the steps I would take. And if you do actually get a diagnosis, and you're always welcome to come to us for diagnosis as well. So just get in touch.
And he has written in while you were talking and said that he has tried living by himself, but yesterday at the doctor, they said that they want to put him in assisted living. And he says, I failed at living by myself.
Yeah, so and those are things that we can definitely help you with. And I just don't want you to think about it as a failure. You know, we go through a lot of things in life, and if we didn't try them and didn't fail at them, we wouldn't learn. So please don't look at it as I failed at something. You need some additional tools, and I'm pretty sure we can give you those tools. And the way to go about it is just to go through the path, get your diagnosis, and as I said, if you're anywhere near LA, come and I'll diagnose you. I'll look at you. I'll talk to you myself. And if you're not, just get in touch with us and we'll be able to help you.